Hi Linda. Hi Sue. Thanks for joining, darling. Amanda. Hi. Thank you. Just bear with me while I've just got to do something on my other phone. I'm hoping, I don't know how it works, but Marie, sorry. Sally Ann. Hi Sally. I was hoping that I could do it like the professionals. You know, they have another phone and try and see themselves on the other bit. It's not working. It's not working. Michelle. Hi Michelle. Hi. Well, I'm going to see if I can try and do something on here. Otherwise, if I press live on this one, I'm going to be live on both. I think we'll give up on that one because I'm not very technical. So I haven't got a clue what I'm doing, where I'm posting. I think I'm posting to just the group, right? Let me know. And I know there isn't a share on this. So, but that's okay. You know, that's fine. I'll figure it out. I'm trying to look on here. Okay. You know what I don't get either? I can see that there's quite a few people watching and commenting, but on my live it says 4. I don't understand all this. I really don't. But bear with me. I'm sure I'll get better as I go along, so give me a chance. Oh, there is a share. Oh, well, that's good. That's good. Now, guys, listen. Where would you? I need to know first, because I need to know whether you'd be interested in hearing about anxiety or depression or bipolar, schizoaffective disorder. Throw them at me. Or shall I do a bit of both? Shall I do a little bit of makeup while I'm talking to you? You know, I don't want it to be too serious, you know. It's believe it or not, you can actually be a little bit light-hearted about this. Believe it or not. Once you understand what's going on and what a panic attack is, what causes it, the feelings you have. If you understand a panic attack and what causes it and what's happening in your body, you won't fear it no more. You won't fear it. And as for the depression side, there's lots of avenues. But you've got to... Listen, I'm not a doctor. You know, I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a psychiatrist. I've seen plenty of mental health teams, believe me. And over the course of... this started happening, I would say, 1995. So we're going back quite a long way. So I'm not sure what you want to hear about. If you give me a little hint, whether it's panic attacks, anxiety. Hi Brenda. Hi Gal. Don't be frightened to comment, please. If I don't listen, I don't like to see anyone suffering. Okay? And if it means putting myself out there to try and help, that's fine. I'm not ashamed of anxiety that I've got, or the depression, or anything else, because it's not really spoke about. As I said, I can sit here and put on my little bit of makeup, wash my hair, have a shower, sometimes it's not changing my dread of tomorrow. And especially coming up to Christmas, it's even more, because the expectations of got to be doing this and I should have that, and and what do they think, and you know, it's not always a good idea to stress yourself out. Linda, first of all, do makeup and talk as you do it. Then your next vid can follow on what people want. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Even though I've got to keep taking the glasses on and off. Jill says about anxiety. Okay, I'll be doing a little bit of makeup while I talk, okay? If it helps. First of all, if anyone has panic attacks, hi Marion. If anyone has panic attacks, give me a little hint. I don't know even if you can do thumbs up on here, but if I get a little bit of feedback, I know what to work with. And anxiety and panic attacks come hand in hand. Hi Marion, Sharon. Hi Sharon. Okay, so mine started in 1995. I had 2 children. No, that's a lie. I had 3 children, all under the age of 5. My mother-in-law and my father-in-law came up and watched my children while I went shopping. Now, I was in the supermarket with my basket that was really full. I'd done a bit more shopping than I should. And I was looking at something, and then all of a sudden it felt as if everything was moving very, very quickly. Very quickly. My heart started to pound. My sight was fuzzy. Lots of other things. My hands were cold. I was sweating, shaking. The funny thing is, I put that basket down and I left it. And I got out of that supermarket as quick as I could. Now, luckily enough, I was 3 minutes from home. I wasn't driving. I just lived very near the supermarket. I got in and I said to my mother-in-law and my father-in-law, I'm having a heart attack. There's something not right. I'm not well. Now, you've got to remember, I was only 30-something. At the time, you don't think there's nothing wrong with your heart. You just automatically think you're having a heart attack. I remember this like it was yesterday. I sat in my boy's bedroom on the end of the bed with my mother-in-law. And I said, please call an ambulance. You know, I feel there's something wrong with my heart and my chest and stuff. We called the ambulance. The ambulance came. They took me to A&E. And I sat in A&E for hours. They done tests on my heart. Excuse me while I keep going back and forward to this. They done tests on my heart and it all came back negative. But they said that my blood pressure was sky high. And with anyone with anxiety, if someone tells you that something's not right, then straight away you home in on that, oh, my blood pressure's high. That means I'm having a heart attack. You know, I'm going to die any day now. You know. And it wasn't. My blood pressure was high because my anxiety was through the roof. But I didn't know what it was, so it scared me. And I had pains going down my arms, pins and needles in my hands, pins and needles in my whole body. It was crazy, and I was convinced that they were lying to me. Now, for the next 2 years, I was back and forth to my doctors, and I went with headaches. I had a brain tumour. I didn't, but the headaches meant I had a brain tumour. I was going numb in my arms. It wasn't. It was because I wasn't breathing properly. But you've got to remember, I didn't know none of this. And I even went because I thought my fingernails were a different colour. And in the end, my doctor said, Michelle, I'm going to have to take you off my books, and I can't see you no more. And that's what I was told. I was a pest. Basically, I was a pest. Because I was going once, maybe twice a week, ringing the doctors for an appointment because something wasn't right. So it was almost like it's not important. You know, what's the matter with you? But what my doctor did do was get me an appointment with the mental health centre. So I went there, and they said, well, it's just panic attacks. You know, it's nothing, it's where you've been anxious. But you've got to remember also, you can be anxious and it's something, usually panic attacks are brought on by years, remember, not just a day of stress, years of stress, which is another thing to keep in mind. So, if you think all of a sudden that you're getting panic attacks and feeling anxious because of one thing, it usually isn't. It's usually a build-up of things that have been ongoing and nothing happened. You've dealt with all that stress. You've dealt with the years of shit, and you're fine. But there's usually a point where you think your life's okay, you're fine, and then all of a sudden, boom, it's there. And you think, yeah, but, you know, there's nothing going on in my life. You know, I'm quite happy and stuff. Unfortunately, your brain has a good way of protecting you. It protects you for a long time. And then when your guard's down and you're finally feeling a bit happy and life's going well, it hits you and you don't understand why. It's like catching up with you. It catches up with you. So, I can't even cut a long story short because I can't, because a lot went on. So I saw the mental health team. They prescribed me a certain medication and it made me feel 100 times worse. Now, remember, I'm not a doctor and I'm a big believer in medication. If it's going to make you feel better, that's fine. If you don't want to take meds and you can deal with this yourself, hats off to you, because that's brilliant. Anyway, I took this medication and It was awful. My anxiety was through the roof. I had headaches. I couldn't stop fidgeting. I felt sick. I felt out of it. And I think they call that depersonalisation, and the other one. It just means you feel as if you're not there. Everything's happening, but you're not quite in with them. And it's dreamlike. You feel quite dreamlike. And it's an unpleasant feeling. It is an unpleasant feeling, because that's when you actually get to a part where you think, I'm mad. There's definitely something wrong. I'm mad. And you feel, I did. I felt as if I had lost the plot. Completely lost the plot. I used to beg my husband then to take me to the hospital. I've lost my mind. And it started from there, basically. And it didn't get any better for, I would say, a couple of years, because I didn't look into what causes this, how the body works to cause this, and how your mind works to cause this. Because there's nothing to fear but fear itself. So you're frightened of fear. So when you fear something, it's fight or flight. And if you fight it, it's no good. And if you flee it, it's no good. So the best thing you can do is understand it. Don't be frightened of it. It's just an it. It's nothing. It's all here. It's not, I'm not going to say imagined. It's what you make it, because if you fear it, you're going to get all them feelings of, oh God, this is happening. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And it spirals out of control. If you can, nip it in the bud, it will help. And I'll try and explain a little bit more. Let's have a look at any comments. I'm sorry if I'm missing loads, because as I said, and you know that anyone that's listened to me, the eyesight is crap, and I'm waiting for new glasses. So, hi, so if you're watching, and Marie, thank you, darling. Pat Weedy, thank you. Joan, Bernice, hey, thank you. Maxine, thank you. Emma, thanks. Karen, Julie, thanks, guys. So what did I do? I decided to buy lots of books on anxiety and panic attacks. On the top of my head, I can't give you the names of them. They're old books, and they're from an old lady. Well, she's either old or dead now, but she was absolutely brilliant. I can't think, but I will tell you. I'll post who it was. And she had 5 books on the subject of anxiety, what causes it, how you feel, and what you can do about it. So my first step was, I was so glad that first of all, I understood what caused it. And adrenaline is the first culprit. When you get really anxious, your blood goes takes away from your limbs and goes to your heart. And then that's another thing, because what you do is you're breathing, you're doing that, and that's no good, because that's going to make you go dizzy, that's going to make you feel like I'm going to faint, and everyone's going to look at me, and So The first thing was I understood. I'm not going to die. I understood what was happening and how to make it a lot better. Because if you understand it, you're not frightened of it. It's not some big monster that you think it is. It's not. So when you feel that anxiety coming on, the first thing you want to do is go back, get in your bed, just hide, take a diazepam, whatever it may be, anything. But your breathing has a lot to do with it. So if you're doing shallow breaths, then you're in trouble. So it's the breathing. I'm going to have to do all this on another one because there's certain ways to breathe. There's certain ways to think. Meditation is great. But that happened on and off. I mean, it stopped. It stopped a good, quite a few years ago. The anxiety is still there. The anxiety is still there. But I know what to do with it because it doesn't frighten me no more. The depression, I was unlucky enough to, it runs in the family. Doesn't mean to say you're going to suffer from it, but it doesn't help. The depression is another story because it would just take too long. But if any of you out there, if you're feeling really anxious, breathe. Just relax and breathe. Meditation is brilliant. Don't withdraw, because if you withdraw, you're feeding it. You're feeding it. Accept it. Accept it for what it is. It's just your adrenaline going crazy. Your breathing goes haywire, and that's what causes the numbness in your hands, the foggy feeling, the dizziness. And you've got to remember, you've done this. You've done this. You've made it what it is because you're feeding it. If you feed it, it's loving it. And I call it it because I still think it's an it. It's an it. And nobody likes it. Let me put my glasses on. Hate anxiety, I've got it, and depression and OCD, on medication and therapy. January. It's lovely to have someone talking about it. Good, Emma. It's horrible. Sorry, I'm just trying to say hello to everybody. I know, Emma, but try not to be frightened of it, because as soon as you're frightened of it, you've hooked it. It's got something to feed on. And if you're all frightened of it, remember all them things you have, that fuzzy feeling, the depersonalisation, the pins and needles, I'm going to faint, people are going to watch, the sweating, the palpitations, the tightness in the throat, all that is anxiety. And don't forget, I'm not a doctor, so if you're really concerned about that, I don't want you to suddenly become really ill and think, yeah, but Michelle said it's just anxiety. Please, seek some help. But they're the worst things that happen. Really not good. Relaxation, meditation, healthy breathing. If you know how to breathe, not from here. I don't know if you can see me from here. And there's lots of breathing exercises that I could show you. I mean, I can't show you here. And when your shoulders are like this constantly, and you're walking around like that, all signs of it. Now the depression, as we was talking about, sorry, not very good at multitasking, am I? The depression, I think, stemmed from the years of anxiety because you're fighting. You're fighting constantly, day in, day out. You wake up, you're anxious, you feel sick because you think something's going to happen, you're not well. You go to bed, you want to put the covers over you because you don't want to hear about anything that's not nice because that's going to set you off, or a little thing could set you off. You don't want to go out because you're frightened to have a panic attack, which happened to me all the time. But luckily I had some really good friends, and I'd go out and I'd say, I've got to go. And I think the lady's watching me, Anne-Marie, I think she's on here. And it was years ago when our children were young and we went to the school, and she used to say, you know, we go out for coffee after we'd drop the children off to school. And a few of us would get together, and sometimes I'd have to say, Anne-Marie, I've got to go. And she'd know what the problem is. But if you don't tell somebody, they just might think that you're, you know, being unsociable, or you're uneasy, and it's not. And I always think it's a good thing to tell people, because then they understand why you're a bit grumpy or rushing off, or you're invited out to places and you don't want to go because the anxiety's there, the depression makes you feel shitty. And I also think medication is a good thing. It's not going to solve it. Medication doesn't solve it. Believe me. It gives you a ladder. It gives you a ladder to slowly step up and sort out the situation that's really making you unhappy. Because at the end of the day, with depression or anxiety, I truly believe it's because there's something going on that you've not dealt with. You've not dealt with it, or you're unhappy, whether it would be in your relationship, in your marriage, financially. If you're not dealing with it, it will come out in other ways. And it's always quite deep-rooted. Now mine was, listen to this, mine slowly went when I left my husband, ex-husband. And after some counselling, I realised that I was so unhappy. But you just think, you know, you go on and you go on and you think this is what you've got to do. And when I left and finally divorced and things, that was hard, because that, believe me, that still carried on for a little while, even after that. Only for about 6 months, until I got myself together. It went. The panic attacks completely went. They disappeared. 1, because I wasn't frightened of them. 2, I'd got out of a situation that I'd been in many years that wasn't good for me. I don't know, I can't remember what the third one is. But it certainly helped. And it was a struggle. You know, most people struggle. You've got 3 young children and you're moving house and, you know, lots of things. So you're bound to feel anxious. But also remember that things that normally make you anxious, breaking up in a relationship, moving house, changing jobs, it is normal to feel anxious. It's normal. So if you're feeling anxiety over that, that's normal. That's a normal thing, because if you didn't, that would be abnormal. But we're talking about what when it gets out of control and it impacts on your social life, your mental health, your social life. When it starts impacting on that, that's when you know there's a bit of trouble. I'm trying to do this and have a look at that, and multitasking is not my thing. I had it many years ago. I won't go out. I've been good for 32 years, but now I'm regressing menopause, yeah. Jill, the menopause definitely didn't help. I finished mine now. I finished my menopause completely, probably about a year ago. When that first started, my anxiety was completely crazy. Even during the night, I'd wake up and I'd be really hot. I'd have the fan on me all night. But that's hormones for you, and that's completely normal. And as long as you know that it's normal, darling, and it is, all your hormones are going completely crazy. And now, if anyone else has got worse while they're in their menopause, then that's also normal. I do feel sorry for you, Emma. I know what it's like. I know. I'm going to look up them books that really helped me, because I understood it. I understood completely. And this time of year, where people say, oh, it's Christmas and, you know, it's a happy time. You know what? For some people who suffer from the anxiety and the depression, you know, it's shit. It's shit because it's more stress. It's more stress to keep people happy. It's more stress keeping the house clean. It's stress because you've got people coming over. But I do wish I could explain it in a more simple terms. The older you get as well, you tend to be a lot more relaxed. It's your time now. It's the people that are coming around or visiting or whatever it may be. It's your time. It's your time now. We've had our years of being stressed and anxious and, you know, make sure the dinner's right and who's going to say something because I didn't do this or do that. Really? And if someone's making you feel worse, I don't want to say walk away because I don't want to upset anyone. But sometimes you've got to get rid of toxic people in your life too. Because if someone's toxic, you're never going to get better. And if you're in a relationship that's toxic, you're also never going to get better. Unless you sort out the root, which you may not think, by the way, is the problem, until you think about it. And remember, it takes years sometimes. It could be something from last year, the year before, the year before that, the year before that. It's where you've gone on and on and on, because you know people that have anxiety and panic attacks are very strong people, because we've dealt with shit for a long time, and that's how all this happens. And now I don't know what I'm doing. I'm trying to put on a bit of makeup. And I don't want to make this really depressing either, because that just is not going to work either. I just want people to know it's not all roses. And as much we can all get on these lives and do a bit of makeup, and we all look lovely, and we put on a brave face. I'm not going to say brave face because I really enjoy. I'm starting to enjoy coming on here. I'd like to think that I'm helping somebody and that my makeup skills are not too crap. But if I can help one person by talking, and you feel free to message me, and I mean that, because I know the suffering. I really know the suffering of what anxiety, panic attacks, depression, along with the bipolar, and at times it's called schizoaffective disorder, where I become extremely poorly. Thankfully, It's not very often, but when it happens, and I disappear to my bed for a week, maybe 2 weeks, and I do not step out of this house for love nor money. I have my dogs and they're my company. No wigs today, but then how's my hair? At least I had a shower and washed it. So maybe that's a good thing. That's a good thing, because I know when I'm coming live, I'll have a shower and wash my hair. Okay, Jill, no problem, sweetheart. You text me whenever you need to. I'm going to finish this bit of makeup. It's probably not as intricate as it should be today. We found this funny brush again. Seems weird doing a bit of makeup and talking about deep mental health. And, you know, there's all little surprises that come up on this. I've been in a psychiatric ward twice. You'll learn all different things. And also, that was the best thing that ever happened to me. Believe it or not. It was brilliant. It was a rest because I was exhausted, mentally and physically exhausted. I had counselling every day. I had my medication, which they finally got right. It was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. And I know a lot of people can't say that because there was a lot of poorly people in there. Very poor people. I didn't do this, I'm going to do this now. And I was in there for 2 months. And these guys that was in there with me, I slowly recovered. And they slowly recovered. Excuse me while I get a little thing. Here. And it was beautiful. And I mean that. It was beautiful to see how treatment for young and old worked. And I saw these poor people that came in who were extremely unwell in lots of different ways slowly recover back to normality so that they could function. And they were lovely people. And they, the majority were very, very intelligent. Very intelligent. But it was also very sad. It was sad because there's lots of people out there that deal with a lot of things that you don't always realise. As you know, you don't know what the next person's dealing with. But the mental health centre, I don't know what they like to call it now, psychiatric ward. I can't thank them enough. I really can't thank them enough. They were brilliant. That was a long time ago. We're going back probably 18 years. But it was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Right, I'm going to put a little bit of lippy on. I mean, we can go into depth about this another time if anyone's interested. If they're not, no worries. I just want you to know that I'm real. I'm approachable, and I care. Because if you know someone cares, and I'm just one person on the end of a live feed, but I genuinely care, and I don't like to see anybody suffer. I really don't, because it's very sad to see someone suffer. Mental torture. Just going to put this on. And maybe on the next live, if you need to tell me though, you need to message me and say what you'd like me to talk about, whether it be the anxiety, the depression, makeup, reviews, lifestyle, wigs, bipolar, hearing voices, seeing things. I bet you're all looking now thinking, what? What? And how you recover. And how you recover. Thank the Lord. I've not done no mascara. Should I do a bit of mascara? I'll do a little bit. These wonky glasses. I can see. Hi, Julie. Oh, Julie. Julie Da Silva. That's a lovely name. Julie, you know what I want to know? Because there's like 170 in this group. And I need to know if... did you get notifications, guys? I know it's Christmas and I know I'm new and not everybody wants to hear what I'm talking about, but I just need to know whether or not people were notified. Because if you was notified, great. But as I said, I know a lot of people are busy. But if you were notified, brilliant. I don't know if notifications are getting out. Skincare, if you're interested in skincare. Or I could end up being an agony aunt. I'd love that. I actually would. I'm old enough. I'm old enough, wise enough, ugly enough. Been through enough. I can only tell you about my story. Because I don't want anyone coming back saying, but you said this, you said that. I can advise. I don't know if I should have a little fringe. Right, one last of the glasses. As I said, guys, let me know what you think or what you'd like to hear or what you think I can do for you. That'd be brilliant. And I really thank you for watching. It's just a new group, but I would like to grow it. I really would. If I can help anybody, that's fine. All right. Ah, good. Lovely. Love the fringe. Thanks, Linda. Well, to all these lovely... It says 2 people are watching. Sure, it's more than 2. I don't know why it's telling me 2. And share it. If you can share it, that's brilliant. So I'm going to go, peeps. Give me a text on Messenger or leave a message on the group. If I can help anyone or you want to see anything, that's brilliant. And if I don't see you before Christmas, have a lovely Christmas. Well, as much as you can. Don't stress. Don't stress. It's just another day. Don't stress. Okay? All right. Thanks, guys. Really appreciating you joining me and interacting. I'm going to see a little message come up, so I'll do that. And it'd be brilliant. And you, Linda. Thanks, guys. Much appreciated. Bye for now. Might come on later tonight, who knows? I'll get something in my head and just babble it off, because that's what I do. Bye, guys. Thanks again. Bye.